Are you living in terror today? Are you afraid? I'll talk about that in just a second. Listen, I know what's going on in the world. I try not to watch so much news that it gets to me because I think a lot of stuff is both given from certain perspectives and I don't know entirely what to believe all the time. But I know, because there's absolutely no doubt, that there's a lot of problems going on in our world today. We have the conflict over with Hamas and with Israel that is kind of like dwelling on all of our hearts. And we see the absolute horror stories that have occurred. People paragliding in and killing people in villages and dragging young women off and children and the elderly. We see bombs exploding and buildings toppling and smoke rising to the sky. And we think, is this the end of days? Was the Bible's prophecies coming alive right in front of us? Maybe. But here's my perspective on the whole thing. A lot of us worry and fret and carry on and live in absolute terror and all of these things. And there's no reason that we shouldn't be vigilant. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to protect your family and be prepared and all of those things. Those are very reasonable things to think about. But what I am saying is that, do you know that if you're a Christian, that no matter what happens, you win? If you live to be the ripe old age of 104 and you die in your sleep quietly, and you know Jesus, you win. If you're killed by a terrorist, and you know Jesus, you win. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'd like to live to be an old man and see my grandkids and see safety for them and experience life and all the joys that God has blessed us with here and in the world. I would love for other people to experience, like the ability to just look at the ocean or see the Grand Canyon or see other natural wonders and just enjoy life, enjoy family and friends and grandkids and children and all of these things. I want that for everyone. But the reality is we live in a terrible fallen world. And I don't know when Jesus is coming back. Is this the end of days? Maybe. I don't know. The thing that's important to really focus on is knowing who Jesus is. That way, when he does show up, or when you die and go to meet him, that he'll know who you are too. You know, one of the phrases in the Bible that's spoken over and over in times of trouble and in times of other things going on is the simple phrase, fear not. Fear not. Now that's pretty hard to do. I have the heart of a father, of a dad. I get it. I don't know what I would be going through if it were my children, one of my daughters, drug off by these people that don't know how to behave like human beings. I don't know how I would feel. I think I would be just so grief-stricken and worried and sick. I would be. And I'm not diminishing the way they feel at all. I'm just saying that in the root end of all things, we must remember that Christ is Lord and that he is there for us, even during the difficult times, even during the terrifying times. I remember 9/11. He was there. I had just a little bitty girl during that time, but he was there. You know, excuse me, many times he says, people try to say, well, why isn't God doing anything about this? Why does God let this bad stuff happen? Why doesn't God step in? I understand that sentiment. But the reality is he has done something about it. He died on a cross for you and me. He died to save us from such things. He tells us, don't fear the one who can kill the body, but fear the one who can not only kill the body, but destroy the soul as well. We need to understand who God is. He is Lord of the universe and master of all things. And wherever all of this nonsense in the world lands, wherever all this violence and evil and terror goes, it won't change that. God is still God. And whether we blow up from a nuclear blast or are killed by a terrorist or die of old age in our sleep, He is still God. And He has still saved us. Hold on to that, my friends. Hold on to that. And that will give you peace and courage to face the days that may be to come. And while we're here, let's spread the word. All the problems of the world would be fixed immediately if every single person decided to go, I'm going to follow Jesus. We'd still sin, but we wouldn't see the atrocities that we're seeing now. Have a great day. Be kind to each other. See you next time.